So I used to be a history teacher, high school history teacher. And so I love stats. I love history. I like looking back at things in order to figure out what our chances of success are. And we were all, needless to say, disappointed when the Detroit Pistons fell back to number 5 in the NBA draft lottery. We know what happened, but it's good news. So, Free Press, the Detroit Free Press, came out with an article where they did this history, they did this research for me, and they talked about 4 teams that had some really bad lottery luck, but also showed that you can still land elite talent and really good talent in it. The cupboard isn't bare. And I'll even say with the Pistons last year, when you look at where players went, aren't you happy with Jaden Ivey at 5? I am. We're back at 5 again. I know it's a long fall, but it's okay. So let's start with the 1991 Denver Nuggets. Just 2 years into the new weighted system, they had an equal shot to get the number 1 pick, but they didn't get it. They were locked out of the top 3 by the Hornets, the Nets, and the Kings. So they moved all the way down to 4th. All right. But they would wind up with the last laugh. Larry Johnson went 1, Kenny Anderson 2, Billy Owens went 3. Who did the Nuggets select? None other than Dikembe Mutombo. No. You got to go see. Oh, what was the commercial that he did? It was for an insurance company. It was hilarious. Is this Geico? It was hilarious. He was blocking everything. All right. But he won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He made 8 all-star teams, 3 all NBA, and 6 all defensive nods. I think he was fine. And man, oh man, when he went to the Hawks, he was a problem for the Pistons. Next in 1993, we have the Dallas Mavericks. This was a wild draft. Orlando went all the way up to the number 1 position. Number 1 position. All right. In order, and the Mavs fell. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, it was Chris Webber, Sean Bradley, and Penny Hardaway. Not bad players, right? So you're sitting here asking me, like, well, that doesn't sound good. And remember, Webber didn't stay there. He obviously ended up in Golden State, all this kind of stuff. Anyways, Bradley was tall, but yeah. Who did the Mavs end up with? None other than Jamal Mashburn. All he did was go on to have a career where he averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. We all loved Jamal Mashburn. All right. He was a good player. Then you have the 2001 Chicago Bulls. They went 15-67. You thought it was hard to watch only 17 wins this year? Imagine that year with the Bulls, not that far removed from the Unforgettables and Jordan and everybody else, but they still fell to number 4. All right. The Wizards and the Clippers both jumped them, and the Hawks. All right. But of the 8 future All-Stars selected, just 2, Tyson Chandler at number 2 and Pau Gasol at number 3, were lottery picks. All right. It's nuts. And that is the year that famously the Wizards got none other than Kwame Brown. Oh, man. Kwame Brown at number 1. Not good at all. All right. Now, the Bulls got Eddie Curry. Not great. Not great either, but it wasn't great in general for that draft. And then you have the 2006 Portland Trailblazers. I like this one. They dropped all the way to number 4. Okay. They dropped all the way to number 4. I think Arnie Bargnani went ahead and a couple other players. And after the Bulls selected LaMarcus Aldridge and the Hornets selected Adam Morrison, the Blazers turned to LSU forward Tyrus Thomas, flipped him to Chicago for Aldridge and a 2007 second rounder. Okay. So the teams that had the 5th pick, the Bulls or the 4th pick or got dropped. The Bulls are the ones that screwed it up the most, right? Because they got Eddie Curry. But Kwame Brown went 1 that year, and there wasn't a lot of elite talent. Everybody else made do and made good with it. In this position, when they dropped heavily, it turned into Dikembe Mutombo. It turned into Jamal Mashburn and LaMarcus Aldridge. Would any of that caliber player be good enough for the Pistons to start making a run? To be good? I think it would. And when you look at this draft class, I get it. And I've said it before. There's one player above everyone else. That's Victor Wembanyama. Then there's another player, Scoot Henderson, which I think he's amazing, but I don't necessarily understand why he's so far ahead of everybody else. But then 3 through 8 are all good players. So honestly, it was 1, 2, or bust. I'm not even upset that we're at 5. If your favorite player in this is Amen Thompson, there's a good chance he's going to be around. Maybe it's his brother, Asar Thompson. I like Asar Thompson, right? Maybe it's somebody else entirely. I don't know. But we're probably going to have the ability to draft that. Maybe it's Cam Whitmore. Maybe it's Hendricks. Maybe there's so many players, I think, in that like 3 to 8, 3 to 10 range that all could go at any spot. And I'm going to trust that Troy Weaver is going to be able to figure that out. This is not a horrible situation to be in, the 5th pick. I'm going to keep saying that. And I will say, like the title of this video said, the Pistons are in great company. If we end up with a player of the caliber of Jamal Mashburn, Dikembe Mutombo, or LaMarcus Aldridge, how can you be upset about that? I think it can go really, really well. So here's what I would love. Throw me some comments. Let me know what player you are most excited about and why. What I'm going to start doing here, I'm sure Chris will do it too, is we're going to start talking about the different prospects and what their elite skills are, because almost every one of them in this range has an elite skill. The Thompson brothers are elite athletes. And one is an elite floor general in Amen. Asar, I think, is going to be an elite kind of wing defender in his time. Cam Whitmore is an elite defender, not defender, sorry, an elite athlete. There are so many guys. Hendricks is going to be an elite shooter day one, hopefully, because he was coming off 40%. Like, there are a lot of guys who have a lot of upside here. A lot of guys with a lot of upside. Who do you like most? Who do you like most at 5? And I haven't even talked about Brandon Miller, because I'm not saying it's likely, but there's absolutely a chance that Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore or Hendricks or somebody else goes ahead of Brandon Miller in 3-4, and we end up having the ability to pick him at 5. And I don't think anybody would be upset at that, because if we were picking at 3, that's where we would have gone. I think a lot of Pistons fans even said, what about Miller at 2 over Scoot, just because of fit? And are we at the stage of the rebuild where we need to have fit more than just keep getting talent? I don't know. So let me know what you think. Hey, keep coming back for Pistons videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, especially if you made it all the way to this point in the video. Hit that subscribe button. Become a member if you'd like. See you on the next one.